friends, alcohol, maybe drugs, and I was going through a hard time. I got to a point that I was 290 pounds.
Wow.
290 pounds, and the way I was eating, drinking. You start drinking, it's like, okay, once a week, twice a week. It got to a point that every day, every day, every day, every day.
It's God over everything. If it ain't of you, Lord, I don't want it, they can keep it.
All right, folks, welcome back to Jesus Over Everything. Today we have a very special guest today, and our very first guest here at Jesus Over Everything. Everyone help me give a warm welcome to Franky Bonilla. Franky, welcome on the show, brother.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much, Victor, for inviting me. This is something special. It's something that God had put in my heart to share.
Yeah.
To share in a message that that is gonna get to people. I know that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You and I were talking on the phone last week. I guess you gave me a call. You just got back from a trip from China, right?
China. Yeah.
How was that, man?
It was great, man. Amazing country. We love, my fiance and I love to travel, man. It's love to travel and see other cultures and countries and other people.
Yeah.
So it's amazing, man. It was a great trip. It's far.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's far, but it was a great trip. And I think that's one of the things that is keep me going too. See the world.
Yeah.
See the world and see how see what the wonders of other countries and what the wonders of the world and what God has done, with stuff that you're like, whoa, how did this happen?
Right.
So it's amazing, man. I love to do that. So I can't wait for my next trip. I'll tell you that. We already got it planned. So
yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
that's
gonna
good,
be
man.
cool.
That's awesome, man. Well, welcome to the show, like I said. And, you and I were talking on the phone, and you kind of had, brought up some points of something that you wanted to talk about. And, one of the things I do is always keep a notepad handy.
Yeah.
Because you never know the conversation you're going to have. And as soon as we started talking, the conversation started going. I said, you know what? I need to write some of this stuff down.
Yeah.
So I kind of got some topics here that
I did. Okay.
that you pulled up. Just things that stuck out to me, but it was later in the conversation. So, tell the folks here a little bit about yourself, like who you are today, and then we'll kind of work backwards from that and kind of reveal God's blessings in your life.
Yeah. So, I do finances. I do mortgages. Been doing it for 20 years. It's been a blessing. It's been a blessing. It's a really stressful job and takes a lot of time. Work a lot. But I have become one of the top loan officers in Houston. So
that's right.
Branch managers and I have a team. It's not just me. My fiance is a real estate agent too, so we help each other. So it's 3 boys.
Yeah, that's right.
3 boys. I'm about to get married.
There you go. Congratulations.
Thank you. May 6th, we're getting married in Cancun.
Ooh.
So it's around the corner. Today's the 7th. Today is the 7th. So it was like yesterday. Karen and I were talking. It was like, hey man, it's 60 days to get married. It's amazing, man. And I am in a different state of life. So. But like you and I were talking that day, it's different when you realize even Victor where you realize that what you're doing in life, right? Let's go back. You want me to like go into it? Okay, so
however you want to do it, brother.
Like so let's go back 3 years. 3 years, man. 3 years. I'll tell you this. It was friends, alcohol, maybe drugs. And I was going through a hard time. Really hard time. And but 3 years, I I start like getting uncomfortable with myself.
Yeah.
And getting uncomfortable with myself and seeing different things. Like I don't know if you know things about numbers, about sign numbers, so I believe that, these numbers are messages from angels, So I started looking into that, right? Why? But Victor, it's something amazing that it's not just one time, right? You see these type of numbers, right? For example, mine was 9/11 first, 9/11.
Yeah.
And I keep seeing it, 9/11, but all the time, right? So all the time, this is like, about 4 years ago, I started seeing these numbers, right? 9/11, 9/11, and I just started seeing it over and over, not just one time, 2, 3, 4 times a day.
Right.
Right. And I just kind of like, you kind of wake up after you seeing it. It's like, why are you seeing these numbers, right? And I started just Googling and YouTube, like, what does this means, right? So and what I see is that there is a message that something is going to happen, something is going to change, right? And this is the thing. I got different things that I found online that it says that you're going to go through this even if you want it or not. So, and it's good, it's the whole thing I was reading, though, it was good changes, right? So 9 means that there is that is a cycle ending, right? There's a cycle ending. 11 means there's a new beginning. So that's the first thing, right? 9/11. So I kept seeing that. So, the sad part, it's that at that point, I was drinking a lot. I was drinking a lot, man. I was like overweight and I think I've been drinking since I was like maybe 16, I think 17.
Yeah, when I met you, and I think you and I met, over 15 years ago, maybe around the time where you started. You definitely were a lot heavier.
Yeah.
You look great,
I got thanks, man.
Yeah.
I got to a point that I was 290 pounds.
Wow.
290 pounds. And the way I was eating, drinking, you start drinking, it's like, okay, once a week, twice a week. It got to a point that every day, I had to have something. I had to have, because it was a stressful, the type of job and this and that, or I would put excuse on why I had to drink, right?
Right.
So yeah, I got heavy, man, and I had a lot of problems, like health problems, right? And I got, but it was something that it was just, it came part of me.
Yeah.
It came part of me, right? And it's like, but I never understood why. Right? Yeah. It's like I thought it was normal. It was just, that's how you have to have fun.
Yeah.
Drinking and late nights and drinking and driving and all this stuff. I tell you this, even to this point, I'm like blessed that never got pulled over.
Right. Yeah, I'm right there with you, man.
Never got pulled over, man.
Yeah.
And I was, God, knows why.
That's right.
And so, so I started doing. That's where everything started, man. I started seeing these numbers and start looking at it, and then, at one point, my marriage, before it was bad. It was bad, and it started going worse. It started getting worse and worse and worse, and we filed for divorce.
Yeah.
Filed for divorce. It's about 3.5 years ago.
Yeah.
So we filed for divorce, and I moved out of the house. I tell you this, I think that's where everything began.
Yeah.
The change began.
Yeah.
The change began. I tell you this, man. I started drinking more, right? Mm-hmm. So because I thought that was the solution, or you couldn't like. I just felt that I think I was just doing it just to forget. Just to forget. I couldn't concentrate and start drinking more and start gaining weight again.
Yeah.
So then I met my fiance, and I tell you this, it's when God sends you a person,
right?
When God sends you a person, God knows, that person, or God is like, it's time for you to change.
Right.
And some people is like, oh man, like divorce is hard. It's just, I mean, it's I don't wish anything to anybody, and it's a different type of stress.
Right.
Different type of stress that it's I mean, I can handle stress because my job is stress to the limit, right? But that's that type of stress, when you're leaving your kids and when you I mean, that the feeling, that emptiness in your heart,
right?
It's hard. It's very, very hard. I mean, like really dark thoughts and it was, I was just got myself into more alcohol, right?
Yeah.
And then at one point,
Yeah, no, it's, I was just going to say, sorry to interrupt you, but I've got a friend right now that I'm helping. He's walking through a divorce right now. And I saw a post that he made on social media, and it was just nothing crazy. It was just a little off.
Right.
And it caught my attention, and I said, maybe I'll call him later on. But then Victoria saw the post, and she texted me. She called me at work. She said, "Have you talked to him lately?" And I said, no. I said, "Why? What happened?" She goes, "Did you see his post?" And I thought there was a new one because I just saw this other one that kind of caught my attention. Yeah. And she told me, and I was like, "Okay, yeah, I saw that." She goes, "You need to call him and just be a good friend to him."
Yeah.
And so I did. But because I've been through that too, I understood where he was at, and that is a very, very dark place, man.
Yeah.
It's a very, very dark place.
So it's a place, man, that you have to walk by yourself.
I know.
You have to go through it by yourself. I mean, by yourself. And I'm blessed that I had Karen with me.
Yeah.
But it's a place that you have to walk. I mean, internally.
Yes.
It's a you on your own, and you fighting your demons. You're fighting your demons. You're fighting everybody, and you just feel lonely and it's you feel like it's over.
Yeah.
Life is done.
Yeah.
Life is done. Life. I tell you this is I'm blessed to have met a wonderful woman. In those times, because it's you feel like it's
over.
It's done.
Yeah.
There's no reason. Money.
Right.
I've been successful, supercars. And houses, money, and it's, I mean, see money pouring in, bro. I mean, it's like, and to a point that it's like, man, it's like, I'm great. I'm on top of the world.
Yeah.
It's like that, right? But it's a fake feeling.
Right.
It was a fake feeling about all these, things but you never you like it's that's the world feeling. It's how I feel now, right? And
I mean, but you're right on point. The Bible tells us about that, right? And there's many examples of that in the Bible. King David, right? And King Solomon. The King Solomon was the wealthiest, richest person in the world at that time, and the most powerful king ever. And no matter what, he couldn't find happiness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And sometimes in this, worldly view that we have of the world, when we're especially for me, and I think for you, you kind of have a similar backstory, but when we don't have stuff growing up, man, we think, we want the car, we want the house, we want all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then you get it, and you're like, now what?
Yeah, no, that's exactly right, man. I mean, like, I'm from El Salvador, and really poor family. I mean, it's like, man, I went back, Karen and I went back to El Salvador, and I took a picture of the house that grew up.
Yeah.
Man, it's like crazy, man. It's the house still there, and but it's crazy, and came here, when I was 13, 14, and just I'm the only one between my dad, my mom and my dad. So he brought me in. He became a U.S. citizen. He came from El Salvador. He left when I was 1, and he came looking, reaching the American dream.
Right.
So when I was, he's like, when I become a U.S. citizen or when I get my papers, I'll bring you. 13 years later, so he brought me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he put me in a plane. I was blessed for that too, man. He put me in a plane and came here and whole different world. Victor is language, language, family. I mean, I seen him one time. That's it.
Yeah.
And then he, he already had, married. My mom and him, they separated, since I was like 2. And so I came here in a whole different world. But you know what? When I came here, I said, I'm gonna make the most I can.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make, at 13, 14 years old, I said, I'm gonna work and change my family legacy. That's that's my goal, and it's still my goal. And I have changed it. I tell you this, I have changed it
for sure.
Because my whole family is like, wow. It's like stuff that have reached, it's stuff that have accomplished. None of them have. And I'm showing that to my kids. And to open that the way, open the door for them to have that goal too. And have more than what I done, but different, in a different way now. Having that peace in your heart and doing it where you can have happiness, but not the real happiness.
Right, the joy.
The real joy, not alcohol joy or not drugs joy or not fake joy and things like that, man. But so going back, man, to 3 years ago, man, I was going to like a really dark place. So, little by little, I start with Karen and start doing different things. Start different things. First, it was friends. Man, it's just like friends, like just got away from everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody just got away from. I just got like lost.
Yeah.
Lost from everybody. Like the people I used to talk to, the people I used to hang out with, I just like gone. When I tell you it's a solo path, it's a solo path.
Oh yeah.
And and I was going through a lot, so I didn't want any influence to anything, so because I felt that I needed to go through that by myself. I needed to gain my life back.
Right.
So I needed to get away from everybody. I needed to get away from 100% people like that I used to hang around with. And what I felt is that you have to break the cycle. You have to break the cycle from everybody that you were with and that you hang out with or the people that you've been, even the people that, family, everybody.
Right.
So doing that, man, it kind of like, that's when kind of the healing starts, right? The healing starts. And I'll tell you this. So, before that, before the healing starts, it's you go through a lot. I'll tell you this. I went through a panic attack. So I did.
Yeah, you told me that was pretty intense.
Man, let me tell you that. It was so deep where I was. So I don't know. It was just so dark. I knew that the only person or the only way that I could get out, it was with God's help.